Well, hello and good afternoon. Welcome to San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, and the Otomi Equestrian Club. Katie Stazak here. We are just about to get underway with the feature event of today's competition that will bring this week of Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup action to a close. It is the CSIO 5-star Longines Grand Prix. 32 combinations set to come forward this afternoon over this course set by Benjamin Fernandez of Mexico with assistance from Anderson Lima. Time allowed today is 86 seconds, and we are just about to get underway and see our first combination on course. It has been an absolutely brilliant week of sport here in San Miguel, as this venue hosted Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup competition for the very first time. A very thrilling finish to that competition with a jump off for gold with the USA and Mexico. Laura Kraut clinching the win for the United States here on Friday. She will be returning on a different mount here this afternoon, but is having an incredible week. Not only was she a part of that winning team for the U.S., but she's also taking a ranking class win this week. So first combination set to come forward, 32 we will see in this jump-off competition. And there is our first of 32 to come forward this afternoon. Federico Fernandez of Mexico will lead us off. Benjamin Fernandez has done a superior job this week. This has been a big week for him, and he has really set the standard with technical courses that are also, fair to the real wide range of competitors that we've seen at this event. The U.S., Mexico, and Canada really sent out its very best for the week, but we've seen, and we will see today, some younger combinations as well getting experience at the highest levels of the sport. A great pathfinder here, Federico Fernandez bringing forward the 12-year-old self-run-say stallion by Lando. This is Romeo. Horse that was bred by Alexandre Lebon of Harris Dewey. Part of that silver medal winning Mexican squad here on Friday, and also jumped the World Championships in Herning. Pathfinders here over this track. This is really where the course starts to pick up. They're going to sweep into the left here, right to the open water, and then there's a very careful vertical to follow. Does that very professionally. This horse has such a lovely rhythm. This wide oxer follows. Very careful plank, want to give enough space to that fence. It's done beautifully, and then they'll continue on. Really easy for a horse to get strung out in this part of the course. They'll keep and continue on to the triple combination. Again, no problem for this pair. This is a bit of a broken line here. Again, done very well. And then the final line on course has one more combination. Vertical oxer. And just coming down on the back bar there, out and over that final Liverpool oxer. That was so professional all the way around. They had a stellar outing in the Nations Cup as well, jumping a clear round in that first round for Mexico. Today, it'll just be a score of 4 in the final line. I think Federico is absolutely still thrilled with that lovely horse. 83.80 seconds, the rider reference time. The time allowed here today is 86 seconds. Of course, that time will be evaluated by the course designer in conjunction with our judges to see if that time needs to have any adjustment. Time in the Nations Cup as well was pretty fair. It's a really large field. They are giving quite a bit of time to get around this track, but fairly so for the technicality on course. So Federico Fernandez giving a pretty good read on how to ride this course today with his very experienced Romeo. Damian Ansik next on course for Argentina, bringing forward the 11-year-old Oldenburg stallion by Eldorado. This is Eldar Blue, Santa Rosa. Definitely going to be a big test for them today. This is their first start at the height. It's their first 5-star show of their partnership. This is a horse that was developed by Miguel and Andres Torres up to meter 50 before Damian took the reins this year. They had a nice finish in the 2-star Grand Prix at Mexico City just a week ago. Taking their time, but so far accurate and confident. That's a really smart ride there. Wanting to shift a bit left. They really came in there on a bit of an angle off to the right side, got through that nicely. Loses the rhythm a little bit here to the wall. And unfortunately, the horse just seemed a bit distracted and not sure where he was going. Definitely was not dialed in on that fence. Really just needs to be straight. Horse again wants to peek and just back off. He adds the leg, but just not getting there on the right stride. Unfortunately, they will be eliminated. And that was a fence that we did see in the Nations Cup earlier in the week, but this combination not competing in the Nations Cup, so really the first time that they've been faced with the fence at that height. I think they did a lot of good things to start and straightforward homework that they need to go and work on at home. Well, this is a combination that is certainly not lacking in experience. They've seen this wall and many others. Canada's Mario Delorier and the 14-year-old Holsteiner mare by Clarimo. This is Bartolina 2. This is really a marvelous mare. It's so hard to believe that she's still just 14. The mare jumped the 2018 World Equestrian Games at just 9 years old. Also jumped the Tokyo Olympic Games. That's an exceptional record, really, on the grass as well. She's jumped at this venue before. And this pair was the anchor combination for Canada in Friday's Nations Cup competition, where they would finish third. The U.S., Canada, and Mexico, the only nations eligible to receive qualifying points within this North and Central America and Caribbean division of the Nations Cup for Nations Cup finals. So you really just saw those three nations bring out their very best combinations, looking to get off on the right foot and not only to qualify for Nations Cup finals, but those finals offering an opportunity to qualify for the Paris Olympic Games. And North America still looking to get those critical team qualifications. Of course, the other opportunity for that is for the Pan American Games. And they will have a foot in the water. Uncharacteristic for this pair. Again, very, very experienced. But this mare just has wanted to shift a bit to the right side of the jumps. And you can see Mario still fighting it a bit now. He knows the mare exceptionally well, so he knows just what to do. But it kind of caught up with them there as they swept that turn to the open water. Again, you can just see that hard drift right through the triple combination. Mario does an exceptional job there. Gets the 6 done nicely. Now he's going to stay out and line up this line. Definitely need the power to come out of that combination at 12 AB, and they'll finish nicely. The mare did not want to touch a pole today. Unfortunately, just the foot in the water will leave them on a score of 4. The time, 83.30 seconds, so I think that time allowed today going to be very fair for this track. Everyone's been able to kind of take their time and still be comfortably within that 86 seconds time allowed. So we return to Mexico now. Here is Arturo Parada Vallejo. This is the 12-year-old self-francais gelding Bacot. And this combination, should they get to the jump off, Arturo is an incredibly fast rider. Really knows this venue inside and out. And this combination, they've really started to come together. They had a super outing to be third in the World Cup at Puebla, but unfortunately will take an early rail down here today. A couple of tighter lines on course, and this is a track that really encourages the horse to get a bit strung out and get an open stride, which can then catch up with you at points, and just catching up a little bit with this pair early. But you can see this horse has tremendous scope. You've only been paired since June. I think this combination is going to jump some very big classes from here. Horse that was developed really nicely in France. I just love this horse's expression. He's super game. You can always see his interest as he gets to the fence. He always wants to continue forward to the jump. Makes so much of it look easy. And you can just see the real quickness of that pair, because it was deceptively quick with that horse's stride. They're going to finish in 78.89 seconds. It is a score of 4 for now. That will put them into an early lead here as our fastest 4 falter. We'll move on to Brazil now. Here is Bruno Caballero Rabello and the 11-year-old Dutch-bred gelding by Verdi. This is Huberth B. We've actually seen this horse have success with multiple riders. The talented gelding was imported by Alain Furter, and Erin Ballard actually rode him to runner-up honors in the World Cup qualifier in Sacramento back in 2021. It was her first ever international show with the horse. A tremendous start to the partnership, and just really showed the horse's natural ability and rideability. The horse was unsurprisingly sold soon thereafter. Rodrigo Lambre had the ride until Bruno took the reins this year. So still kind of figuring each other out, but this is a horse and a rider with a lot of talent. Elects to do the 9 there. There's definitely a little bit of an option there to the water. You can really gallop and continue on that stride to the 8, or you can have to really take a hold to that vertical. Unfortunately, just not getting into that following line the right way. And gosh, you can just see how related those series of fences are, as the horse is just taking Bruno one stride past where he wants to be. Regrouping here. Coming out of the corner, the horse just seems a bit behind Bruno's leg, and he's having to push on that last stride and getting underneath the fence. And then he's not quite getting the jump that he wants. That's a shame. They're going to retire today, but that's a talented horse, talented rider. Big test today. They're just going to have to work those details out that really show up in big classes like this, and certainly just need to get to know each other more. Canada will now send forward Sarah Tyndale. 15-year-old Holsteiner stallion Kino is her mount, horse by Lord Zed out of a Chamberlain mare. Really experienced horse. He's going to be a super partner for Sarah and bringing her to her first Senior Nations Cup here this week in Mexico. They were very solid, 2 down in each round, but a tremendous learning experience for Sarah. She's a 3-time veteran of the North American Youth Championships. Just 21 years old. She's a 3-time bronze medalist at that event. Also jumped the Youth Nations Cup finals. This is definitely the biggest track that they've jumped would be this week in the Nations Cup. So hopefully they can take what they learned from that experience and continue to grow today. That line's a little bit downhill the way you're riding it, so it's going to come up a bit easier than it walks. And the way that it's set, and the poles are even decorated, and the plank, you'll see the Longines logo is actually offset to the left, and it just kind of draws the horse's eye that way. And it's very deceptive and can kind of throw off your track and that stride to that fence. Really creative design. I just needed one more inch there. You're going to see this happen quite a bit late in the course as the horses really build so many tests really designed to get the horses strung out. You need to be able to just take those moments to half halt and check that connection and then move forward again. That's going to be a tough corner as well, just getting a little bit caught up there on an angle. And also just could be a little bit tired after a big week of jumping and 2 rounds in the Nations Cup on Friday. Today, not their day, but still a lot of great learning experiences for the 21-year-old Sarah Tyndale. They will finish on 24 faults today. Well, it's really been this woman's week. Laura Kraut entering the arena on the 9-year-old mare Bisquetta. Laura, of course, rode Ballard in the Nations Cup. The only combination on the day to jump double clear. They jumped clear again in the jump off to secure the win for the U.S. Earlier that day, Laura took a ranking class win on this mare, just 9 years old now, stepping her up to this level. Going to be a great experience for the mare, and Laura just absolutely has the hot hand. This mare looks to be a really exciting one for the future. Laura got this horse as a 7-year-old and has been bringing her along. Things have seemed to be pretty easy. The mare has just kind of taken so much of things in stride. And actually owned by Cherry Knoll Farm, which would be a familiar owner for Laura. They were actually the owners of her Olympic gold medalist partner, Cedric. Still looking for a first clear, of course. Laura makes a brilliant adjustment into that triple combination. Wow. What a professional looking 9-year-old. Makes it look easy. Mexico loves Laura Kraut, and Laura Kraut loves Mexico. It has been an incredible week for the U.S. veteran in San Miguel de Allende. She is clear yet again in this Longines Grand Prix, this time on Bisquetta. She has got to be absolutely thrilled. What a lovely round for that exciting young horse. So how many will join Laura in a potential jump off here? We'll need to secure that first with a second clear effort. We're going to return now to Argentina and Ignacio Marin. This is Chiquitos PS, 10-year-old Oldenburg gelding by Chaco Blue out of a Contargos mare. Still a relatively new partnership, only paired at the end of last year. A horse that was formerly ridden by Brazil's Rodrigo Lambre. Had a really nice finish, though, in a 5-star Grand Prix. That was at Jalapa last month. They finished 6th there, and this pair did anchor the Argentinian team in the Nations Cup on Friday here. They had a rail down in each round. Ignacio was really happy with the horse. And the horse still looking to be feeling fresh here after a day of rest in this Grand Prix. There was actually no international competition held here. Yesterday it was all national. So both horse and rider got a bit of a rest. Beautifully done there. Especially for a big horse and with this kind of step in that line. Stays out a little bit. Just to put a little bit more of a shape in that 6. Works out nicely for him. Again, this horse has a very big stride, so that adjustment was a great plan. Loses a bit of the connection there in that line. Reaches, he touches the back bar, but it stays. Ignacio Marini was knocking on the door all day Friday in that Nations Cup. He saw that his horse was performing well and was so close. Just like that, we have a jump off guaranteed.
Entra a la pista el número 9, representa a los Estados Unidos de América, Longines, montando a Copa.
So we'll very quickly return to the United States as we'll welcome Natalie Dean. Natalie bringing forward the 10-year-old Oldenburg mare by Toulon. This is a Cota M. Natalie was the Team USA alternate this week in San Miguel. This is a horse that she got at the end of the 2021 show season. They just stepped up to meter 60 in the fall. They actually decided to make the mare eligible a little bit late in the World Cup qualifying season. They did go to the World Cup finals in Omaha. That was a tremendous learning experience for them as a partnership. This is a very athletic, kind of smaller, athletic, hot mare. That's a shame. You know, that's actually a point in the course when Natalie was walking with her trainer, Alon Furter, that he specifically pointed out that oxer to her because then he knew the mare would kind of build and be a bit quick around that turn. Six almost gets away from them a little bit. Has to move forward, but makes it work. Now needs to regroup out of the turn here. Such an athletic mare, contorting herself over that oxer and bounding home. Really strong ride. It'll just be the one rail against them. They'll finish on 4 and very quick indeed as well, 80.70 seconds. And you have to look back again then to Arturo Parada Vallejo, who's currently in 3rd as the fastest 4-faulter, 78.89 seconds on that kind of not as nearly as naturally quick of a horse, but just had a massive stride. Arturo was such a quick rider. He did that masterfully. We'll see how long he can hold himself as that fastest 4, and we'll see how many clears kind of push him down that leaderboard. So on to Chile we'll go. This is Augustine Covarrubias. This is his mount, the 10-year-old Belgian-bred stallion Nelson du Petit Vivir. Another new partnership. They've only been paired since the fall, acquiring the horse in September, and this will be only their second start at this meter 60 height. Augustine is a South American Games individual silver medalist. They did jump for Chile in the Nations Cup, and they were the first to turn in a clear round on the day. Unfortunately, in the second round, just got a little bit tired and finished on a higher score of 16. Great adjustment there after the water. Bounding very confidently through this middle part and really the meat of the course. Again, a really good adjustment to get straight through the triple combination. Just the final line. Gets in brilliantly straight. Come on. Oh! And they pull the front rail of the last. What a heartbreaker. It was such a brilliant round. It's just a touch down the hill. It's kind of actually a bit of a slope up and down, some undulation within that line, and they just got there a bit too close to that Liverpool oxer. What a shame. They'll finish on 84.61 seconds. Still, what a way to finish the week for that combination. All right, back to Mexico as we sit on two clears, one for the U.S. and one for Argentina. Laura Kraut and Ignacio Marin are two clear from our first 10 riders. Here is Mexico's Jesus Francisco Arantes Hua and the 10-year-old Oldenburg mare by Winning Mood. This is Wisconsin PS. This has been a super mare for this 21-year-old rider. Really has brought him up to these meter 60 classes in this level of the sport. Arturo Parada taking the reins on this horse a few times. They had a nice finish in the 5-star Grand Prix at Jalapa in March, finishing top 10. Looking for a little bit more space there to that Longines vertical early on course. And a bit of miscommunication to the water. Always a unique obstacle. Oh, and unfortunately, rider getting unseated there and getting a bit stuck in his stirrup. And Jesus seems to be up and walking. And we'll look to hopefully get this horse safely caught soon as well. All right, so the mare has been caught. They're going to look to get a handle on her a bit as she did lose her bridle around there. So both horse and rider looking to be no worse for the wear here. I'm just going to give them a few minutes to get organized and get safely out of the ring here. Again, a very young rider jumping a big technical track, a lot of new things and new tests. A lot of the sport to come ahead of him, and we'll see him back to fight another day. So we're a little more than a third of the way through this first round competition. A jump off will follow. Right now, just 2 have jumped clear, and that would be Laura Kraut of the U.S. and Ignacio Marin of Argentina. Arturo Parada Vallejo sitting third as the fastest 4 falter, followed by Natalie Dean, Mario Delorier, and Federico Fernandez.
Ya tenemos lista al número 12, representa a México, Paola Amilibia, to montar Petit.
Paola Amilibia will be the next to take on this track. Riding for Mexico, bringing forward the very special 17-year-old Selfrense Gelding Gaudi. These two know each other inside and out, long-time partners. They've been jumping at the international level since 2016. They've been all over the world. More recently, the pair jumped Nations Cup competition in Madrid as part of the Longines European Equestrian Foundation series. That's the EEF series that has developed over the last couple of years. Had a nice finish at 4-star Jalapa in March, where they were on the podium. Great ride to the water. Gets a little bit right to left there in the triple combination. What fight to get out of there. Horse just looking a little bit keen. He wants to fight against the contact a little bit, but he sure is jumping. And he's listening just enough and respecting the fences. Oh, they drifted a bit left to right and then back again in that line. I actually thought that first shift would help them and create a little bit more space, but then the horse wanted to fall in again. Unfortunately, just not meeting that final oxer in the best way, and they'll finish with only that rail against them. What a ride there, though, from Paola Amilibia and that veteran horse. Unfortunately, just on the 4 today.
Tenemos en la pista número 13, representa a México, se llama Patricio Pascal y monta Serenget. In the ring, riding for Mexico, Patricio Pascal aboard.
So we'll stay with Mexico now as Patricio Pascal brings forward another veteran partner. This is the Selfrense Gelding Serenget, 17 years old. This horse has had a ton of success over the years with the likes of Patricio as well as Cian O'Connor of Ireland. Patricio actually just purchased the horse last summer. They had a nice finish in 5-star competition in California at the Desert Horse Park in December. And of course, we know Patricio for his successes with another chestnut, his homebred Babel. Jumped the World Championships in both 2018 and 2022. tough act to follow, but this is a very, very quality horse. That line can get very easily. They hit it on just the right stride. That's a little bit of a short corner and, you know, and not a natural turn to the triple bar. Everyone's been handling it quite well so far. Serenget fighting the contact a little bit there. Gets a bit of a rub on the back rail of A. Jumps out nicely. Patricio staying very patient. Oh, what a shame. They're going to take a brick off of the Be Proud wall. And this is a course where things just build and build and build. And you can see this horse just getting a bit stronger and stronger as the course has gone on. And that's where the late faults come in. It started off absolutely beautifully. Unfortunately, they'll just finish on those 8 faults. 81.76 seconds is their time. And we'll see another Mexican rider now, and one from that silver effort here in the Nations Cup on Friday. This is the veteran pair of Manuel Gonzalez Dufren and Hortensia van der Looverk, 16-year-old Belgian-bred mare by Corland. Absolutely love this mare. She is sensational. And when she was needed on Friday, jumped a critical clear round in the second round of the Nations Cup that put Mexico into the lead and on even terms then when Laura Kraut equaled his feat for a jump off in that Nations Cup. Only one rider could return from each team in that Nations Cup. It ended up being Laura and Eugenio Garza for Mexico, but these two had a sensational day, still finished second. And they've been a part of so many Nations Cup teams now and anchoring so many Nations Cup teams now. And Manuel is not even age 30. You can just see the confidence with which Manuel rides this mare. Wow. Not expecting that from this pair. They're going to take down the plank, and I thought that the mare had plenty of space and actually clips it behind. And that was interesting. They actually added in that line and then got a bit underneath and couldn't get across the oxer. He's not liking what he's feeling coming there to the final line, and unfortunately they're going to retire. It's very rare that you don't see this mare jumping a clear round. They have danced so many dances and performed so well for their nation. Today, just not their day.
En la pista número 15, representando a Canadá, tenemos a Ballard, que monta Petit. In the ring running for Canada, Ballard aboard Romeo.
So we'll move on to Canada now. Here is Erin Ballard aboard the 12-year-old Dutch-bred Spartacus gelding. This is Gakir, another from the Nations Cup competition on Friday for Canada, delivered a critical second round clear for their nation. This pair is fresh off the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup finals in Omaha. They also jumped the FEI World Championships last year. This is a super horse. He's done so well, both indoors and outdoors. And that is a rail that we really seem to have fallen consistently to kick off this class. Yeah, doing so much of these real technical questions with ease. Wow, and a beautiful finish. A bit of poor luck there at that early vertical. They're going to finish on a score of 4:79.85 seconds is the time. Pretty well-balanced course so far. That vertical of Erin's accounting for 10.71% of the faults so far in course, according to preview data, and only one fence has fallen more so far in the class, and that is the vertical coming into the combination at 12A. So we're going to move on now to our lone rider from Australia. Here's Hilary Scott aboard Oaks Milky Way, the 16-year-old Australian-bred mare by Clearway. Another veteran from the 2022 World Championships in Herning. Horse had a bit of time off from the fall to earlier this year in February. Spent some time in Europe before jumping to a top 10 finish in the 5-star Grand Prix at Mexico City. They go for a little bit of the gap year distance there and do the 8, but the mare was very much moving. Hilary not wanting to make that abrupt of an adjustment makes this test a little bit harder, but they do it very well. Mare jumped exceptionally out of the combination. She was so just quick with her body and jumped Hilary a bit loose. Unfortunately, they're just not able to regain that balance coming to that next line. Hilary is being exceptionally gritty and just continuing forward. But unfortunately, she will take 2 rails with her along the way. That's a shame. That mare did not want to touch a pole today. But it's the line at 10 and 11 that plagues them. They're going to finish on a score of 83.38 seconds. Time not at all a factor today. And we're more than halfway through now, still sitting on just the 2 clear efforts, Laura Kraut and Ignacio Marin. Colombia's John Perez Boom is next, bringing forward the 12-year-old Dutch-bred mare, Gigi Carmen. The leadoff pair for Colombia in the Nations Cup on Friday. Rebounded nicely for just a single rail in the second round. So much of this sport is beyond what we see in these 2 minutes here in the ring, and everything to do with management, training, and developing these horses. And I think John has done a magnificent job with this mare. When he got the ride back in October of 2021, the mare had a bit of time away from international competition, and I think he's just managed her exceptionally. She's relatively lightly campaigned. He's moved her up and down a lot to keep her confident, and just being very selective with where she goes, and it's really paid off. They had a 5-star Grand Prix win at Jalapa in March. Get a little bit underneath that careful, delicate vertical in the 9. But what a careful mare. Knew exactly where her legs were to keep that jump up. A little bit of a rattle in. Can he maintain it? It's a bit noisy, but he's still on 0. Again, at this point in the course, the horse is just so naturally on that open stride, and you just have to manage it. This is the one place where you can maybe just, you have to test the balance. Come on, John. You can hear the verbal cues. He was asking her to come back and steady the whole way down that final line. It just catches up with them at the last jump. 79.6 seconds is the time, and just the 1 rail for John Perez Boom and Gigi Carmen. They will slot into the 5th position for the time being. John knows this venue very well. He is getting a very nice and well-deserved round of applause from the crowd here on hand. And it is an absolutely full crowd here in San Miguel. They love their show jumping here in Mexico. So we'll stay with Mexico, or return to Mexico rather, as we welcome Francisco Pascal Vega. This is the 13-year-old Zangerscheid stallion, dominant 2000Z. The younger Pascal obviously has quite the family legacy in the sport. The Pascal family putting on many of the horse shows in this country. They've been tremendous supporters of the sport, both in and out of the saddle. And now this younger rider getting all the support from his father, Francisco Pascal, and the Pascal family. And he's coming along nicely. Just carried a little bit much into that line. He was tall with his body, but just needed to make a little bit more of an adjustment for that careful plank and create a bit more room for his horse to jump. Still riding very confidently. This is a big test. Very patient ride there out of the turn. Does that really well. And a brilliant finish. He should be absolutely thrilled with that. He, too, is getting a very warm reception from the crowd here. He'll finish on just the 1 rail. It's actually going to move them into 8th place for the moment, so within the top 10 with a bit more to go. It's a score of 4 and a time of 81.42 seconds for Francisco Pascal Vega.
montando por México Eugenio Garza Pérez, que monta con Pablo.
This combination had a sensational day on Friday in the Nations Cup, delivering a brilliant clear for Mexico in the second round. They were chosen to represent the nation as the lone rider in the jump-off. You know, a little bit of poor luck when you have to go first. They put the pressure on with a lovely clear, but Laura Kraut and Ballard could not be denied, and that horse just have a bit more quick foot speed than this mare. But this mare is an absolute dream to watch. Eugenio has brought her up all the way through the grade. He's had her since she was just a 7-year-old, and just what a beautifully well-trained mare. Just so light, beautiful rhythm, stylish, scopy, careful. Just looks to be a pleasure to ride. And big strided, a little bit deceptively quick, and covers the ground so well. You know, she takes you to the fence without, wanting to pull you past where you want to be. Much of what she jumped in the Nations Cup on Friday looked like an equitation course. I mean, and just look how straight coming through that triple combination. Oh, a bit of a rattle at 11, but it's staying. Maybe that's just enough rub to get them home on another clear. Beautifully balanced down the last. They are clear again. What a week for Eugenio Garza Perez and Cantago. Looking for a little bit of redemption now. They'll face Laura Kraut yet again in the jump off, but this time Eugenio will get to come after Laura and know exactly what he needs to do.
Number 3 to the jump. Entra a la pista de representando a los Estados Unidos de América, Ken Farrington, que monta London. In the ring, riding for the USA, Ken Farrington, a 14-year-old London.
Well, back to another for the USA. Here is Kent Farrington and the 10-year-old Zangerscheid gelding Landon. Landon was another that jumped a brilliant second round clear in the Nations Cup. This horse is still on the younger side at 10 years old. Kent, as he does, has managed the horse exceptionally. It's been a very calculated development, and you can just see such an improvement and an improved learning and rideability and confidence in the horse this year. And this horse just has all the makings and is absolutely the type of horse that you would see Kent Farrington naturally gravitate toward. Careful, athletic, has quite a bit of blood. And Kent has said it's really been about managing the stride with this horse. And again, look how straight through that triple combination. That's really the way you want to ride that there. You don't want to get too caught up in those sweeping turns. There's plenty of time. Come on, Kent. Would love to see this pair in the jump off. And we will. Brilliant clear from Kent Farrington and Landon, and just like that, our jump off has doubled to 4. We'll see 2 for the U.S., 1 for Mexico, and so far 1 for Argentina.
Number 4 to the jump off. Yeah.
So we're down to our final 10 combinations. The first of those will represent the nation of Chile. Here is Samuel Perot and the 12-year-old Oldenburg gelding, Crystal Blue. This is a lovely horse. They've been paired just since August of last year. We saw them on the North American League World Cup circuit in Lexington this season. They were top 12 there with a single rail down. Took a nice win in Wellington in the winter. And this horse really performed well in his Nations Cup debut. Had 2 down in the first round and then learned so quickly to come back with a fantastic clear. This is a lovely horse for Samuel. Beautiful there from the open water to the vertical. He lands, checks the balance, and then continues forward again. Gets through the triple combination. Loses a little bit of the rhythm in the canter there. Has to reach then for that oxer, but it stays. We see it repeatedly in this line, how the horses just fight the contact a bit and get strong. Has to make an adjustment. But it's a good one. It's another clear, this time for Samuel Perot and Crystal Blue. The jump off is growing. That's number 5, and our first for Chile. We saw just 2 clear rounds in the first half of this class. Very quickly, with still 9 more to jump, we have added 3. And we're going to quickly return now to another for the U.S. Bliss Years bringing forward her 13-year-old Cell Francais stallion by Diamante Semi. This is Antidote de Mars. And this venue here at San Miguel de Allende means so much to this combination. They took a 5-star Grand Prix victory right here last fall as a part of the Major League Show Jumping Tour. It's hard to find fault with this horse, and if you get the privilege to be in his presence, you'll just be in awe of what an incredible demeanor the horse has. He's just very calm and within himself. He takes everything in stride. He's very inquisitive, but just has a serenity almost to him on the ground. Unfortunately, though, they are going to take an early rail. They sit on 4 faults as they head to the water at fence 5. Beautiful ride to the wall. Just trying to be a quick 4-faulter. Paula Amalibia, the fastest 4-faulter at the moment on 78.23 seconds. They're going to be a bit slower than that. 80.99 seconds is their time, and they will move into 11th. Just the 1 early rail against them. So let's turn back now to the home nation, another from Mexico. This time it's Andres Azcárraga, bringing forward the 16-year-old Hanoverian stallion, another by Contendro. This is Contendros 2. Absolutely gorgeous stallion, owned by the Azcárraga family. This pair team alternates from Mexico this week. Longtime partners, they've been jumping at this level since 2015. Took a nice win right here at San Miguel in February in the 2-star Grand Prix, and then thereafter top 10 in the 5-star Grand Prix at Jalapa in March. That 6 is really set a bit downhill and gets very easy. Contenders gets a little bit low there, makes it work. And a little bit unraveled. Andres really fighting there with his left stirrup. Does a good job to recover to get out of that line. Oh. This is a course with a lot of winding turns and a lot of adjustability required. You have to move forward, the horse is strung out, and then you need to get the balance back for these more careful fences. Brilliant track there in the 6. And finishes nicely. Just the one rail against them. Overall, it's a really nice looking, strong, competitive round. A score of 4:78.33 seconds, and a nice time as well. They will move into 7th position for the time being, with 7 left to see. And as always, such a difficult test for a course designer to set at this level with the incredible resumes of the riders here, but there are also some younger ones just stepping up to meter 60, and you have to find that balance of technicality but fairness where everyone leaves still feeling confident. This will be the first meter 60 test for this 12-year-old Hanoverian male, Mayor Quebel. Juan Serra in the irons representing Uruguay, this 23-year-old rider. Benjamin Fernandez has, again, I think, done a tremendous job this week. You know, there are rails that can fall, but it's a friendly enough start there through the triple bar. You then just have to keep on that gallop, and it becomes a little bit more relentless once you get here to the open water. And they will have a foot in that water. They'll take B down there in the triple combination. And you can just see he's taking a little bit more of a conservative route, but he's trying to just be accurate, ride his trip, and again, come away with that good confidence-building experience. And I really think he's done that. He will take the last down. It's going to be a score of 14. But again, a really big test for this pair. They marched around, everything looked just fair and things that they can learn and improve upon in the future. But jumping around there confidently and having a good experience, that's so important for a young horse or a young rider rather, and a horse that's looking to get that experience and stepping up to what can be a very imposing and intimidating level.
In the ring riding from Mexico, Miguel Maron aboard Romeo Cayenne Bosquillo.
So we'll see another for the home nation now of Mexico. This is Miguel Maron Kawagi, and this is Cayenne de Bosquillon, the 11-year-old Saint-Francais gelding, owned by Alberto Sanchez Cosar. These two jumped their first World Cup qualifier at Puebla earlier this year. Been paired for about 3 seasons now. This will be another step up for them. And really just kind of cutting the turn there. They get to the bottom of the water, but they don't have the impulsion to get across. Good reaction there, the horse wanting to pull him a little bit past that plank. And Miguel really thinking about steadying from A to B and maybe just does so a touch too early in that triple combination. Again, not the most natural turn where the horses are thinking that they're going to the wall. We've seen quite a few kind of end up cross-cantering behind and not quite focused on that next fence and dialed in there. Miguel just keeping on that forward rhythm. He's kept thinking forward. And he's going to have a nice finish here today. 2 down, 84.63 seconds. Still a little bit to spare on the clock as well with that 86-second time allowed. All right, we're down to our final 5, and we're sitting on a jump-off of 5. For Mexico, we'll now welcome in Sophia Michel. Her mount is the 11-year-old Irish sport horse mare by Verdi. This is BP First Editions. Another horse that has really been developed largely by Alberto Sanchez Cosar for much of her international career. Sophia began riding the mare in 2021, and they made their first international starts actually right here at San Miguel de Allende and Otomi in that same year. They've jumped the North American Youth Championships. The team was just off the podium. And also jumped the Junior Nations Cup at Vancouver up in Thunderbird Show Park in Canada last summer. Pair of early rails here at both 2 and 3. This is Sophia's first ever meter 60 class. Mare looking a little bit low in the balance and contact. A good effort there, though. Very athletic effort from the mare at the plank. Certainly a careful mare. Beautiful style and jumps great out of the triple combination. You know, this mare is just built a little bit more naturally downhill, but gives a big effort. you know, maybe starting out with just a little bit of nerves in this big class, but handled so much of the rest well. And all of the technical questions, really, that last line, definitely the topography of the land coming into play a bit. So she'll take the last down as well. It's 20 penalties, 81.53 seconds, but a lot of that done really well. I think that score is not quite indicative of the whole round, and that's a young rider that I think is going to come away with a lot of confidence, and hopefully will go home and keep training and to keep improving. Two for Mexico, one for Canada, one for Argentina left in the starting order for this first round of the Longines Grand Prix. Here is Francisco Leonforte and Santa Rosa Yalta. 11-year-old Mexican-bred mare. This is a mare that has had actually quite a few well-known riders involved in her development. Fabian Sejanes, Sweden's Peter Eriksson, and Mexico's Daniel Pedraza and Nicolas Pizarro. These two were just paired at the end of last summer. It quickly took a win at the 4-star level at Jalapa. This is a pair that you would say is very consistent and great results at meter 45. But definitely now just stepping up to this level of the sport. Francisco, another U25 rider, just celebrating his 24th birthday. Got some very valuable experience contesting the Nations Cup course on Friday. Had a little bit of trouble in the first round, but then actually nearly halved his score in the second round. And that is the mark, being able to have a little bit of short-term amnesia, taking what you learned but not letting it stick with you, and going out and fixing it but remaining confident. And the 24-year-old really learning and growing throughout this week. In the 5-star Grand Prix, just a single rail down. Super outing for Francisco Leonforte and Santa Rosa Yalta. So we have 5 clear, 3 left to jump in the first round. Tiffany Foster will lead off that trio. And this is the impressive 12-year-old Holsteiner gelding, Hamilton. And I think Hamilton is really jumping some of his best this year at 12 years old. He's a bigger horse. Might have taken a little bit, kind of longer to come into himself. He's always had good results, but it just seems like they've really taken things to the next level this year. Big strided, rangy horse. Jumped a super second round clear for Canada in the Nations Cup. Practically steps the open water. And if anything, this is sometimes a pair that might come away with some time faults, but I don't think that's going to be an issue today. The time is very generous. I think they just have to ride their round, and we could really see them in the jump-off. Beautiful so far. The 7 gets so easy for him, but he just steps it. So much scope, this horse. So much range. Beautiful, clear round. 82.09 seconds. Time is not a problem. Tiffany Foster and Hamilton will add their names to the jump-off list, and that will make it 6 with just 2 more to see. Both of our final riders hail from the home nation of Mexico. The first of that pair will be Nicolas Pizarro. This is the 11-year-old Hanoverian gelding by Baloo du Reventon. This is Mike Wazowski. And of course, we know the superstar that is Baloo du Reventon, that has had so much success with multiple riders, most recently in the World Cup finals with Harry Charles. Nicolas is probably one of the busiest athletes here at Otomi. He's riding so many horses, national and international, plus coaching. Part of that second place Mexican team in the Nations Cup here on Friday. A beautiful second round clear he rode with Pia Contra. This is a horse that he's brought up from his 8-year-old year, actually won at Spruce Meadows as a young horse. A little bit more inexperienced at this height, but Nico has been building him up, and they were just outside the top 12 in the 5-star Grand Prix at Jalapa in March. A big groan from the crowd as the front rail of C comes down. They did so many things right. Just the one down for Nico Pizarro and Mike Wazowski. 81.01 seconds is their time. Again, that horse is still relatively inexperienced at this level. 11 years old. I think the horse is going to do some lovely things, and Nico has a super string. Not to mention, last night there was a Grand Prix under the lights at the national level, and Nico took the win in that class. So will it be 6 in our jump off or 7? Last to go in the first round of competition here in the Longines Grand Prix, Luis Alejandro Plasencia and Da Vinci, this 15-year-old Dutch-bred mare by Verdi. And it will be a jump off of 6. They're going to pull the very first rail on course. They'll look to just stay on that single rail effort if they can. A long way to go, though. These two are longtime partners. They actually won the World Cup qualifier in Guadalajara back in 2018. But the mare has been away from competition, was actually away from international competition for nearly 2 years. So still kind of building that fitness level back up. And it's a unique fitness mark and hard to replicate the show miles, particularly, you know, in these grueling, long, very technical meter 60 tracks. And Luis knows how special this horse is and not really needing so much of the training. They're going to go home and continue to kind of work on the fitness. Very accomplished mare. They will retire on course here today. So that will conclude our first round, and we will see a jump off of 6. Laura Kraut is going to lead us off aboard the exciting 9-year-old Bisquetta. Ignacio Marin will follow her. Eugenio Garza Perez will be back with the exceptional Cantago. What a week they have had. and they will be followed by the USA's Kent Farrington and the very exciting 10-year-old Landon. Samuel Perot, sensational with Crystal Blue. He was elated with his clear round. He'll be back fifth to jump in our short track. And Tiffany Foster will be last to go, our final of 6 aboard the Scopy Hamilton. That's going to be our jump off. We're going to take a quick break for some arena maintenance and to reset the course here. Thanks for tuning in from the Otomi Equestrian Club in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, as we bring to a close Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup Week here in Mexico. Katie Stazak here. Don't touch that dial. Don't touch your computer. We'll be back in a few minutes for a thrilling jump off. I hope Kent win. Yeah. I don't know. Laura's been tough to beat this week. It'd be nice if Tiffany won also. Yay!
As the title partner, official timekeeper and official watch of the series, Longines is proud to be associated with the highlight of the day, the Longines Grand Prix of Mexico. Longines' passion for question sports dates back to 1869. Today, the brand is involved in the most important question events all over the world. On this occasion, the brand is privileged to present the official watch of the event, a model from the Longines Master Collection. Boastfully feminine and technically sophisticated, this model Huberth achieves the perfect balance between classic elegance and high performance, and will delight those wishing to pursue both high watchmaking and timeless style.
Welcome back to the Otomi Equestrian Club in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. We are just about to get underway. First horse is in the ring for what is sure to be a thrilling jump off in the CSIO 5-star Longines Grand Prix. Going to bring this Nations Cup week here at Otomi to a close. And what better rider to start things off in this jump off than the rider who has truly led things off this week, clinching the Nations Cup win for the U.S. here on Friday. She took already a ranking class win with this exciting 9-year-old mare in Bisquetta, and now clear again and about to jump off. It will be a jump off field of 6. Going to be the Pathfinders today over this short track by Benjamin Fernandez. It's actually the first same 3 fences. This line gets very easy and a little bit downhill, so you don't want to push the envelope too much here and have your balance just get a bit low. You're going to continue on here to the double, getting a little bit underneath it. What an effort! And then here's where it comes a bit about turning. There's a left rollback turn here to the Longines Oxer. Unfortunately, the front rail is going to fall on a little bit of a slice. It's another right rollback then to this new line. 2 new fences here. Red vertical down to the Longines double. Wasn't sure if it was possible for Laura to have a rail this week. She will in this final jump off, but what an exciting 9-year-old for her in bisquetta. They're going to finish on a score of 4:39.22 seconds was the time. What a competitor. You have to give Laura all the credit. Still going for it to try to put the pressure on. We'll await our first clear with 5 more to see. What a week for Laura Kraut in Mexico. All right, 5 more to see. 1 for Argentina, 1 for Mexico, 1 for the U.S., 1 for Chile, and 1 for Canada. 5 different nations represented in this 6-horse jump-off. Ignacio Marin back in the ring now with the 10-year-old Chaco Blue gelding. This is Chiquitos PS. This horse has just gotten better and better all week. Horse with a big step. Really carries the pace down to that vertical. It's a bit close, but it works. All right, 22 seconds there. Landing from the double. He's not going all out, but he's being very efficient. And there's our first double clear effort. 42.38 seconds is the time for Ignacio Marin and Chiquitos PS. Putting the pressure on now for a clear effort. You know, definitely left the door open. I think there's a place where these athletes can go a little bit faster, but what a week for that combination. And a horse that has a big step, maybe isn't the most naturally quickest, but I think rode the best round for that horse today. And straight to the top they go. That's the standard to beat, 42.38 seconds. Just for comparison, Laura Kraut did have the rail, but she finished in 39.22 seconds. That is a naturally quicker horse. So there's a lot of time to improve upon here, but you have to keep the fences up. Eugenio Garza Perez is next, bringing forward the exceptional 12-year-old mare by Cornet Oblensky, Contago. What a week they've had as well, but Eugenio out a little bit for redemption after losing that jump off to Laura Kraut. This mare is not the most naturally quickest either, but has a beautiful open stride, and with such incredible rideability, you can take a bit of the risks, as you saw there, landing in 20 seconds, a little bit faster, can really take risks on those turns. Oh, and you saw that there. Brilliant to the vertical. And beautiful in the 9 to the last. Fantastic. Eugenio Garza goes straight to the top. And look at that time. Even faster than Laura today. 38.87 seconds. That mare can be deceptively quick with that stride. And those turns were fantastic. That's a jump off that totally suited that mare. What a day. What a well-earned fist pump there from Eugenio Garza Perez and Contago. Some quick combinations to follow, but that is going to be quite the standard. Taking more than 3 seconds off of that leading time previously set with that first leer from Ignacio Marin. But this is one heck of a combination. Kent Farrington and Landon. Final combination for the USA in today's competition. Can they continue the winning streak here in San Miguel? They don't get much faster than Kent. This horse is so athletic. He's going to do the leave out. Wow. Continuing right on the gallop. Now, it's always been about managing this horse's stride. So does he have that rideability here? He is jumping. Let's watch the turn here. Has to go around, but he's quick. Flyer to the last. He is clear, and he is faster. What a plan. What an effort. This combination has been knocking on the door in 5-star Grand Prix all winter long. They go into the lead, and that is going to be tough to beat. 38.32 seconds, Kent Farrington and Landon. But just another day at the office for Kent Farrington. They keep getting quicker. 2 left here looking to catch Kent Farrington and Landon. Samuel Perot bringing forward Crystal Blue. Lovely slice there on the ox, are a little bit behind the mark. But Samuel riding his round, and this horse has had a great week, and he's still going to come away with a lovely finish here today. Double clear, great ride for his horse. Samuel Perot is clear in 41.09 seconds, and he might just be on the podium today, sitting in third with just 1 rider left to come. Well, it all comes down to this final rider. Tiffany Foster brings forward Hamilton. The standard to beat Kent Farrington and Landon, 38.32 seconds. This is not a horse with the foot speed of Landon, but he has a big step. And if there's one place you could maybe go quicker than Kent, it would be the turn back to the final line. But you would have to commit to the leave out in the line from 2 to 3. Let's see what Tiffany's plan is. Needs to beat 38.32 seconds to take the win, 41.09 seconds to make the podium. Beautiful there. So she elects to do 6. This horse is jumping super. She's landing and continuing, just doesn't quite cover the ground as quickly. Gets straight there. And she's going to go around as well. Kent is going to take the win today. Where will Tiffany Foster fall with Hamilton? Still a brilliant week here in San Miguel. 41.82 seconds. She'll be just off the podium today, but double clear for 4th in this Longines Grand Prix. Kent Farrington will take the win with Landon. Eugenio Garza Perez 2nd with Cantago, and Samuel Perot will finish 3rd with Crystal Blue. Tiffany Foster, she's going to finish up in 4th, followed by Ignacio Marin and Laura Kraut. Going to wrap things up in our jump off with a 6th place finish. Our quick 4 falters, Paula Amalibia, Andres Azcaraga, and Arturo Parada Vallejo. Those 3 all from Mexico would be your 3 fastest 4 falters. Wrapping up the top 10, John Perez Bohm and Gigi Carmen of Colombia. A super week of sport all week long here as San Miguel and the Otomi Equestrian Club host a Nations Cup competition for the very first time.
El sexto para Laura Cobb y bisquetta 4 en 39-22.
So there's a look at the leaderboard. Final results in. Kent Farrington taking that win with Landon, followed by Eugenio Garza Perez and Samuel Perot. Well, we are ready to celebrate our top performers here this afternoon in the Longines Grand Prix. All 6 from the jump off will be coming back to join us. And they're entering the ring right now, led off by today's 6th place finisher, but truly the winner of the week, the USA's Laura Kraut. Awaiting the group, an eager group of media representatives here in Mexico. So there's a look at the group, again led in by 6th place finisher Laura Kraut and the exciting 9-year-old Bisquetta. Behind them, Ignacio Marin and Chiquitos PS, also consistently excellent this week in San Miguel. Tiffany Foster finishing 4th today with Hamilton, jumping so many clear rounds. And now to our podium walking up. Samuel Perot and Crystal Blue, Eugenio Garza and Cantago and Kent Farrington in to lead the way. No, that is not Landon. He has borrowed a horse for the prize giving. A stupendous performance from Kent today. And really, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone that manages their horses better. He loves to get horses young and develop them up the grades the way that he likes. He has done that so well with Landon. Can talk more about that, but for now, let's acknowledge the national anthem of the winning rider, Kent Farrington.
Please rise for the national anthem of our winner, Kent Farrington.
So Kent Farrington taking the win today. His Mount Landon just getting better and better. They had many top rounds, clear rounds in 5-star Grand Prix competition this winter in Wellington. He really uses Wellington as a bit of a training tool. Obviously there are 5 stars there, but he has such foresight and he's always forward thinking, and he uses that circuit to bring up and train the horses. And you can see how Landon has grown through that circuit and now coming out of it and taking a win in a 5-star Grand Prix. And Ken has said it's been all about managing. The horse has a big stride and a lot of power, managing that power. And you saw that play into his strategy in the jump off, where the horse he was able to do that leap out. He had opened up the stride then. He elected not to go and do that inside turn that Eugenio did, but knew that he had the foot speed, the power, and the step to make up the places elsewhere, and he didn't have to make an abrupt change in his rhythm, and it was a masterful plan. So Kent now stepping up to receive and be recognized for his win by our prize-giving committee, among them Mr. Erwin Walton representing Longines. He is the Longines brand manager of Mexico. Representing the FEI, we have Mr. Stephen Ellenbrook, the FEI board member and chairman of the FEI Jumping Committee. Great to have Stephen here with us this week. Representing the organizing committee, we have Mr. Juan Manuel Cosio, the president of the Mexican Equestrian Federation, Mr. Patricio Zambrano, the secretary general of the Mexican Equestrian Federation, and then the co-owners of the Otomi Equestrian Center, Mr. Daniel Rijan and Mr. Eduardo Leon. So that presentation party now, stepping back to congratulate the remainder of our top placing athletes here this afternoon. They're led by Kent Farrington and followed by Eugenio Garza, Samuel Perot, Tiffany Foster, Ignacio Marin, and Laura Kraut. So we'll send them off now to everyone watching at home. Thank you for doing so and tuning in to the tremendous competition here in Mexico this week as we kicked off the North and Central America and Caribbean Division of the Nations Cup and ended a fantastic week of sport with this CSIO 5-star Longines Grand Prix. Congratulations to Kent Farrington and Landon. I'm Katie Stazak, and we'll see you very soon.
En quinto lugar, de Argentina, Ignacio Morín, que montó a Chaquitos PS. Y en sexto lugar de los Estados Unidos de América, Laura Croft, que montó a Bisquetta.
Página. El que sea. No encontraban la camisa.
We will ask you to lead the victory gallop.
¿Ya se bajaron al podio o no?
No, no hubo podio.
Ah, bueno, hay que dársela a Moni que se las dé ahorita que salga.
El que ganó. No, no, no,
And here come the winners of the Longines Grand Prix of Mexico. From the USA, Ken Farrington. From Mexico, Eugenio Garza Perez. From Chile, Samuel Parot and Crystal Blue. Tiffany Foster from Canada, Ignacio Marin from Argentina, and Robert Rock from the USA. Ken, this is for you. Congratulations, appreciated by the Mexican people. Your win in this Longines Grand Prix Mexico. Ken Farrington.
gracias a todos por su